Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gayatri and this is Panda Gaya, and a subscribe to this channel would be absolutely amazing. If you could also like this video, I'll be super happy, and thank you for taking your time to come here and visit my channel and see this. This is one of the most requested videos of all time, and I'm super happy and excited to take it for you. You guys have been asking me how to use new words in order to avoid repetition of the same words that are being used again. So in this video, I will be familiarizing you guys with certain phrases to use instead of how are you and I'm fine. So we usually ask how are you and we respond with I'm fine or I'm fine, thank you and how are you, and then they repeat the same. But it's kind of boring, right? So let's familiarize something else, and hope you guys will come with me in that journey. Let's go. Okay, the first phrase you can use instead of how are you is how's it going. So instead of how are you, you can ask how's it going. That is the short form, or the more common way of how is it going. So instead of how are you, you can ask how's it going, and your tone actually depends on how you ask people. If you just ask how's it going, they'll think that you're not interested. But if you ask how's it going, your tone actually depends, and then people will think you're genuinely interested in listening to their whereabouts. So you can ask how's it going instead of how are you. That's boring, so you can ask how's it going. The next phrase you can use instead of how are you is how you doing. That's more like an American version of how are you, because we don't usually hear that here or from anyone around us. So it is like the more flowy version of how are you doing. So that's my cat. You can use it as how you doing instead of. Don't get me started there. That's like the catchphrase of Joey from Friends. If you know, I love you and you're awesome. So instead of how are you, you can use how you doing. So how are you? How you doing? That makes more sense. We learned two of them. How's it going and how you doing? My cat. A third phrase to use instead of how are you is how's everything. We can ask how is everything. So when we say it comes like how's everything. Instead of how are you, you can ask how's everything. And make sure your tone has a positive aspect or a positive feeling to it. Make sure you're genuinely interested in asking them. Otherwise they'll be like, I don't want to converse with these people. So instead of how are you, you can ask how's everything. How is everything? That comes as how's everything. The next thing we can ask is what's up. What's up? We've heard this is common, or more easier way, sup, what's up. You can ask, that's easy. What's up? I'm doing fine, thank you. But we are not using I'm fine, I'll tell you guys that. So what's up? What's up? It's easy. We are concluding with how are you. So instead of how are you, no, we're not using how are you. We can use how's everything, how you doing, how's it going, and what's up. Let's move on to the next topic, that is I'm fine. But we're not literally saying I'm fine. We're tired of I'm fine. We are not using I'm fine anymore. Let's see what all can be used instead of I'm fine. Instead of I'm fine, the first thing you can ask or say, sorry, not ask, you can say is I'm doing well, thank you, or I'm doing well, thanks. But thanks is usually used more between friends, and I don't know, I never use thanks a lot. I say thank you. It's been with me since I was born. So instead of I'm fine, you can use I'm doing well, thank you, or I'm doing well, thanks. So when someone asks how's it going, I'm doing well, thanks, instead of how are you, and that seems more nice. The next one is my personal favorite. When someone asks me how I'm doing or how are you, I usually say I'm good. I'm good. I am good. I'm good. That's easier to say. Instead of I'm fine, you can say I'm good. So we learn two things, that is I'm doing well, thank you, and I'm good. The next thing, remember that question, how's everything? And then I answered, everything's well, thank you. That's the next thing. How's everything? Everything's great, or everything's well, or everything's good. You can depend upon your mood. How's everything? Everything's great, thank you. And we can repeat it, asking themselves the same question. How's everything? everything's great. The next one is something that you have to be careful while using, because we are going to use as good as I can be, no complaints. As good as I can be, no complaints. But make sure you make your tone into a positive way. Like I said before, as good as I can be, no complaints. When someone asks you how's it going, and you reply as good as I can be, no complaints, that's like a medium way. Yeah, as good as it can be, no complaints. When someone asks you how's it going, you say as good as it can be, no complaints. As good as it can be, no complaints. But that, brings out a mentality in them that there are complaints and you're not comfortable with your life. But if you say it in this way, how's everything going? As good as I can be, no complaints. That makes sure that you're happy and your life is going great, and I don't have any complaints with the way it's going now. So you can use as good as it can be, no complaints. As good as it can be, no complaints. You can use I'm doing well, thanks, I'm good, everything's great, as good as it can be, no complaints. So we learned a few basic things instead of how are you and I'm fine. So let's do it in a question answer wise, shall we? First thing is, how's it going? I'm doing well, thanks, or I'm good, everything's great. The second one is, how you doing? And we can reply the same thing, as good as it can be, no complaints. The third one is, what's up? And you can say, I'm good. So these are some easy ways and not so complicated ways to use, complicated phrases to use instead of how are you and I'm fine. I'm talking as slow as possible, and I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, because I usually speak in a really fast manner in which people tend not to understand what I'm saying. Even now I'm trying my best to talk in a really slow way, because many of you told me in the last video that I am talking really fast and you guys can't understand what I'm saying. So if you do not understand what I'm saying, please make sure you put it down in the comment box, and also tell me which one of these phrases you like the most and which one of these are you going to use. And I have a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, how many part you want of this video coming up on the topics, okay, and wishing people happy anniversary, happy birthday. So instead of that, we can use some innovative phrases like these. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And before winding up this video, I have to tell you guys, thank you so much for all the love and support you guys have been giving me. I know I'm starting to upload videos on a regular basis, and I can see it as a result in my channel. Thank you for around 450 subscribers. I'm really grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for being with me and supporting my little dream. Yeah, I'd call it a dream. It's a dream. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye.